Hello everyone, and welcome back to Guild Wars 2 Heart of Thorns. This is the last one for Heart of Thorns. Guys, this is last it for Heart of Thorns. After this, we do Living World Season 3. Crazy talk. So our mission is to save Traherne. Initially that's our goal, right? Going into it is to save Traherne, and it turns into, guess we gotta breed it up. Guess we gotta go beat up the dragon. So it was, this is a long video, not because the dragon itself was the most challenging to beat, but because halfway through I got distracted. Because moral of the story is no. So we had to go down to the bottom, which is interesting. It was fun actually to kind of just all the way back down. Almost killed myself though. Almost killed myself just getting into the bottom. So it's, yeah, we just go down to the bottom and we get attacked and we defeat that, and then we go through and we find Traherne, and he's in rough shape, guys. Breaks my heart a little bit, or a lot. He is one of my favorite characters. This game will just rip it out. Rip your heart out. Say, ha, you like this character? Sucks to be you. I mean, yes and no. It makes sense that, you know, it wasn't this frickin' beastie. Good lord, the Stoneheads are just Stoneheads, is that what they're called? Just a pain in the butt. Everything in this map is a pain in the butt. Let's be honest here. Everything is a pain in the butt. What is my... Okay, this is what we're doing today. So yeah, like I said, this is it is what it is. I mean, you would think that there'd be more things to beat up to get to this location, but turns out once you beat up Fowlin, there's not much else. So it's I die a lot. It's okay. It happens. Alright? It happens. We all know I die a shitload regardless of anything I am doing ever. It's just... this is where we are in the world. I'm getting better at utilizing my bow. So we defeat the beasties, and then we go down the tunnel and we find Traherne. Poor Traherne. Again, he looks so big too. Like, you can see that's kind of what I'm looking at here, is like how big he looks. Like, I know I made a small character, but like Traherne was not that much bigger than me, I don't think, which is, so the proportions were off a little bit, which, I mean, it makes sense and it doesn't, because as far as I can tell, like, it's using his actual, like, it's attached to his actual body, right? It's not like just creating its own image of him. So it is what it is. But we end up having to go into his mind. Well, Traherne can open up a portal to go. I choose to take Bram and Canuck. I could have taken Kaith, but I felt like Bram's been a pretty reliable crew member, so we just took him with me. And then it's just, it is what it is. So we're on our way to defeat Mortarmoth, and so first we have to go through everybody's like biggest fear, essentially. So we have to defeat Air and her wolf, which was not the easiest, and it was hard because I figured out exactly how you needed to do it, and I was pretty close to defeating her at one point, but it gets monotonous. And like, Air has this annoying little fire ability where she just follows you around with arrows, and so how am I supposed to stop and beat it up the wolf when so it was a little, oh sorry, it was a little teensy bit annoying to do this part. And I had played through already at this point, so I had done the previous 2 missions by the time I got here. Like, I rolled straight through. And it was just a little frustrating at this point. Because like I said, I knew exactly what I had to do. Like, it was a very easy puzzle to figure out, but I just couldn't execute it. So I needed to execute it, and every time you died, you started over, which makes sense, but also very frustrating to lose any of your progress just because you die. Because that doesn't always happen. You don't always lose your progress in this game when you die, especially if your companions are still alive and fighting. Like, you just go back and join them. But this one was just a pain in the butt. So yeah, I was looking around a little bit just to see if there was anything. I think at this point I was just like, can I give up? Is that how do I call it here? So I tried a couple more times, and then I was just like, meh, peace out. Peace out, Cub Scout. I don't want to do it anymore. No, I did have a lot of patience for this battle. I did honestly try and get through it. It was just fairly annoying. And realistically, like, I could have gone back and not chosen Bram, and I wouldn't have had to have fought Air if I didn't choose Bram. But I wanted to bring him. Like, why wouldn't I want to bring him? So it was, but it was just so annoying. And then you would get to the point where you're like, okay, I can hit the wolf. Nar? Is that his name? And it was just monotonous. It's just repeating over and over again. And like, you couldn't hit the fire. You couldn't hit this. You couldn't get stuck in that. And it's just like, pain in the butt. Realistically. This is a pain in the butt. This is such a pain in the butt. And that was... And like I said, like, this game doesn't have many of these battles where it's just obnoxious, right? Not in an instance. That's the difference. Like, most of the instance battles, I can trudge my way through, but this one I think this is like the second or third time I've had an instance battle where I've just been like, this is impossible. Which is annoying because, like, once I had made it through the rest of the instance battles, I'm like, oh, I could have done the rest of this, right? Like, could have done it. And it's just this one. And it's like, why is this one so frustrating? I don't know. I think I make things more difficult than they have to be. You know, like running through fire. I didn't have to run through fire. I did, though. Oh, he's sleeping. Yeah. Now we finally defeat him, and then, you know, you beat her up, and it's back at it again, and it's just, it's fairly annoying. I don't know. And like I said, up until this point, this game hadn't been, or this, like, part of it hadn't been that bad. It was just this particular battle I couldn't do very well. And I think it was at about this point in time where I was just like, oh my god, I only did like an 8th damage to her. Like, this is this is not gonna end ever. Ever. That's what I was really starting to feel at this point. Because I was just running in circles. And running in circles. And running in some more circles. And then cutting across and running in a circle in the other direction was like, this is never going to end. It's never going to end. You have to wait for her to finish that one attack where she rains fire down on you. Beat up the wolf. And then wait for her to come over and try to resurrect the wolf. And then beat her up, and then beat the wolf up again, and then beat her up again, and then it was just like, oh my gosh, this is the third time we're starting to hit her, and she's still not even to halfway health yet, and it's just like, oh my god. This is just, I don't know if it was my character, I don't know if it's my skill level, but I'm terrible. This is just not... It's like, I was having fun until this point, guys. Like, I'm playing for the story, not for the challenge. And that's the difference too between like an online type game like this versus like Tomb Raider. Like, you don't get to set the difficulty level. Like, it is what it is. Your character can either handle it or it can't. And my character cannot handle anything. My character is garbage. This is how I generally feel at this point. But like, once you're down, like, there's no getting back up. There's no getting back up once you're down in this fight. Like, Bram doesn't come over to resurrect you. Like, it's not there's no way to rally. Like, there's no way to do it, which is hard because it's one of the only battles like that. Like, every other battle you do is you can rally, or you can heal yourself up, or your companion comes and gets you up or something, but this is just a brutal battle for me. I know, yeah, here it is. I was just like, nah, done. I was like, I need help. So, I get my mesmer friend to help me. And we were all set to go, and then he was like, oh, it's map meta time. And I was like, I don't want to do it, but okay. So I sped this part up faster than I sped the rest of it up, but I literally just tagged along. I didn't really do much for this. I was like, okay, whatever. And I I didn't even really like get that much in the way of chests and rewards and things. I'm feeling so done with Maguma in general that I'm just like, I don't wanna do map events. I don't wanna do it. I just wanna defeat Mordor Moth and get the F out of here. I'm ready for the next thing. And I was like, I'm dying. And that was the thing too, is like, I wasn't paying the closest attention to what we were doing. He was just like, okay, come over here, follow me this way, let's go this way. I was like, okay, sure, whatever you say, boss. And like, you can see what I was talking about the other day about the mounts and stuff. Like, there's just mounts everywhere. And I was like, okay, we gotta do this event. And that's the thing too about like the meta event, is like, it's just a bunch of events strung along together. I tried. I was helping, mostly helping until I died and somebody had to save me. And this is hard because when I'm playing in a group, I don't choose a DPS character when I'm playing in a group. If I'm playing in a group and I'm doing stuff, I choose healers. I much prefer to be like a support healer type of person. So whenever we do these group events, I naturally fall into healing and resurrecting people. And this character is not good for that. Like, I can sit there and resurrect people because any character can, but I have no buffs to give people. There is no way for me to do that. And I think that's part of the reason why I don't want to do group events and stuff for the most part, and why I don't really like seek them out. So my next character, I do want to build like a tankier healer type of character, a Leona of League of Legends, if you will. Where I can tank and heal and res people, and like, that's the kind of character I like to play in a group. Like, where my friend, he's very, very good at doing like a ton of DPS, a ton of holding people down. Like, he's very good at strategy and like being in charge. He's very much a leader. I can be a leader if I know the situation. But like, in this game with so many other people involved, and how many other people quickly get involved and how many people are required for some of these events, I'm just like, listen, I'll hide in the background, I'll drop buffs, I will heal you up, I will like create a safe space for you, let me get some shields, some bubbles going, like let me pin people down, stun them, like whatever. I'm not a, all right, follow me into battle. That's not my role. I'm not comfortable in that kind of role in a video game. Like, that's just not. And like I mentioned Leona in League of Legends, like that was, I would play characters where like, yeah, the stuns or whatever would be the initiating factor, but I wouldn't be sacrificing my whole team to do it. So I could go in first. If I failed, I would die. Everybody else could back off and be fine with it. Or I could get the stun off. They could come in or knock up whatever character I was playing. And they can go to town and I'll, you know, stay on a couple of people that I need to keep out of the battle, essentially. I haven't played a League in forever. I've been doing teamfight tactics. I haven't been doing League. My social anxiety just went off the wall. This I'm okay with because A, I have my friend with me. B, there's just so many people that like I can lose myself in the background and nobody has to acknowledge me and I don't have to acknowledge anybody else, and I could just be like, oops, sorry, like didn't see chat. So I don't like, oh sorry, like you can tell I'm still kind of a new player, like I don't really do the map things, sorry guys, like. And I mean, it's not untrue. Like, I am still fairly new to Guild Wars 2. Like, I'm not these people that have hundreds of mastery points by any means. So it was just, it's one of those things where, like, you tell me what to do and I'll do it. But, like, I'm not leading this expenditure. 'Tis not what I am doing today, friends. So, it's always an experience to do these shenanigans. I helped. I sliced something up with a knife. No, and you'll notice though, like I generally end up pulling out my bow during these events. Whenever I post me doing these types of things, like I end up using my bow and standing back and just taking pot shots at things. Like, there is no value in my character being in the shit because I will die. Like, because 9 times out of 10, the monsters and stuff we have to fight in these, like the big guys, are DPS monsters, first of all, and they always have AoE attacks that just destroy my fucking face off. And then I'm like, it's just not fun to be there dead when everybody else is fighting. Like, I feel so useless. It is very, very weird. I don't know if it was this one or a different one I was doing, that there was a good chunk of us, like I don't know how it happened, but there was suddenly like 10 to 15 people on the ground, and like like I ended up being one. It was when I didn't post it, I don't think. I stumbled into an event. I do that a lot. Where I'm wandering around looking for mastery points or vistas or whatever, and I stumble into an event people are doing or a hero point or something, and like half of them will be dead or whatever, and I'll be like, all right, so I'll res a few on the outskirts, and like they'll go, and like I'll just work my way forward resing people so they can finish their event, because I'm like, there is no point in me trying to go hit up this beastie. I'm not a healer. The most I can do for you is like, hopefully I res the most useful member of your group, because that's about all I have to offer. It's about all I have to offer. It's useless for me to stumble upon events. And then this fucking shit. Oh, I was so annoyed. Like, yep, we're gonna go. I was like, what do you want me to do? He's like, okay, we'll go hit the updrafts. And I'm like, what now? You want me to do what? Because here's the thing about me and updrafts. I've learned this game, more so than most games, because I don't know what it is, mess with my depth perception and like judgment of spacing. I did not know what I could and could not hit from these rocks. So I was like on a rock and I'm like, I don't know if I can hit those updrafts. And he was like, okay, follow me up this updraft. And I was like, excuse you, what? Like, which updraft? There's 100. Which one can I reach from here? And he was like, I don't know, just pick one and go. And I'm like, but I fall to my death if I pick the wrong one. So I kind of just hung out and waited for the battle to come to me and tried to just stay out of the way. Like, my whole tactic for this part of the fight was to stay out of the way. Like, how can I do the least amount of chaos here? And then they were like, oh yeah, just jump. And I'm like, let me just, yeah, let me make it look easy, guys. Totally. Oh yeah, this is another one where I landed and everybody's dead. And I'm like, oh fuck. I think I called him over and I'm like, everybody's dead over here. And he was like, what? And I'm like, there's like 7 people on the ground over here. Like, we might need some help. Like, that's the hard part, because he's a mesmer and this character, like, I struggle following him because he's just all over. And like, if you follow an illusion, you're in for a rough time. So I usually try to pick a buddy and like, okay, I'm following you because you're my buddy now, whether you want to be my buddy or not. You and me are buddies. So yeah, then the thing dies and they're like, okay, we gotta go up to the top and get the treasure. And I'm like, you want me to do what now? And you can see me looking like, okay, sure. And like, I totally missed that updraft. Like, flew right through it. I was like, okay. And then there's another ledge and I was just like, maybe this one will work. And I was like, nope, not high enough. I don't know how I even mentioned when I landed, I'm like, I don't know how I did that. I don't know how I did that. Oh, and then there's all my inventory. You get to watch my inventory. I forgot I put that in the video. It's too late now. Oh, shit. I forgot that was in here. I hadn't done my inventory since the last meta event. It was a hot mess. I apologize. Sometimes I'm really good at cutting shit out of these videos that we don't need. Like all this freaking inventory nonsense. You don't need to see all my inventory unless you're curious about how I do inventory, in which case, things it lets me stash, I stash. Things it lets me salvage, I salvage. Things it lets me sell, I sell. Things it doesn't let me do jack shit with stay in my inventory. Like, I don't destroy anything. Like, there's one thing I destroy, and that's because my crafting bank is full of that material. So I destroyed that. Everything else I don't destroy, because why would I? Like, I don't. And because this is my only character at the minute, and because it gave me the gear and stuff I needed when I purchased the pack of everything, it was fine. Okay, so we finally did that nonsense. We're done with the meta. We got our rewards. We cleared out our inventory. We're going back in the purple goo. Going back in the purple goo. So it obviously goes much different with my Mesmer friend, because why wouldn't it? Friggin' Jack Skeleton over there. But except he's a pumpkin head. Jack Skellington isn't really a pumpkin head. He's a skeleton. Skeleton. Jack Skellington is a skeleton. Is it Skellington? Why am I suddenly drawing a blank on the Nightmare Before Christmas character? Anyway, the Pumpkin King and I went through, and he obliterated all the things, because he always obliterates all the things. It's just how he do. So obviously I die, right? And obviously, like, that happens. Like, even he died once or twice during this mission. And it was one of those things where it took away my ability to do, like, the retry from checkpoint or whatever, which was fine. Like, here it didn't really bother me. It's done that before. When you're in an instance and there's somebody else alive, like, they can resurrect you, which is totally fine. Oh my goodness. And, like, vice versa. Like, I had to resurrect him if he died. But something weird happened when we were fighting Mordremoth. So we defeated... So I took the same characters. I took Brahman Canuck. I didn't change it at all. It's like, yeah, let me suddenly take Kate, because let's just throw a wrench into this. No, I did stick with Brahman Canuck. They've been fighting with me. Canuck's literally been my buddy through the whole entirety of Maguma. Why wouldn't I take him? So, and then, it was one of those things where he just makes things look easy, first of all. No, I mean, he does, but he's also, he's always being helpful. So back into Mordremoth's mind we go. You should not have come here. I am everywhere. I am all. Mordremoth is such an interesting concept. So we go through this lovely shenanigans again. And he's already got the wolf down once. Like, I still do have to, like, even with him here, like, I still have to be careful, because if I get hit by something, like, it's gonna annihilate my face. My face gets annihilated so easily. It's so annoying. I keep saying I have to fix it, and I never remember to fix it before I start playing. Or I start going through and looking at my abilities and weapons and stuff, and I'm just like, or nah. Or not right now. You know, whatever. But, like, how long did I struggle with this? And he already, like, dead. Like, good lord. It just, things go 100 times quicker with a friend, and it goes 1,000 times quicker with a good character friend. Find some buddies in this game is the moral of the story. This game is not a game you can play without buddies. I prefer to play with him, and this game is actually fun to play with him, like, versus some of the other games where I feel like I'm totally and completely useless. I do feel like I'm at least partially useful when it's just me and him. This one was weird. This tried to do the weird mechanic thing on me with the shield bullshit, but I did think it was interesting that Canuck has to fight Canuck. I'm not surprised though. Because he's a character we don't really learn a whole lot about, especially when you think of like Keith and Traherne. Like, we know a lot about Keith and Traherne, so we don't really know much about Canuck. I would argue we even know a little bit more about Fowland than we do Canuck at this point. So it's not really a surprise that himself is his issue. I'm not saying he's self-centered. I'm just saying in terms of flushing out a character. They've fleshed out so many other characters at this point that flushing out Canuck would have been a challenge, right? And it was very easy, given what he's been telling you throughout this whole journey, that yeah, like, he is his worst fear and biggest enemy, because he does not want to succumb to Mortermoth's power. He does not want to give up his own person and individuality, which, I mean, who does? But that's his biggest thing, is his own sense of individuality, and to lose that would be a huge issue for him. And that's one of the reasons why I do like this game, is because, like, the characters around you all have a story, right? They might not be the best stories, but they have a story, versus other games where, like, the story is about you and your character, but not really anybody else. Like, they're all just support characters. They're not their own. They don't feel like they could hold their own. So it's nice to have characters that can hold their own and do have their own backstory and are well fleshed out, and even the characters that aren't as well fleshed out, they are still well enough that you know their motivations, you know their overall sense of self, essentially. So then we get to fight Martyr-Moth, which this was a pattern, which was not surprising, given that the other two mini bosses were both patterns. But the hard part is that my friend died. I was able to resurrect him, and he rejoined the fight. Fortunately, I think. Well, then it got to a point where you had to do this thing where, like, you hit an updraft and you glided around while you waited for the nonsense on the ground to stop. The second or third time it happened, I couldn't get up off the ground. Like, I was hitting the updrafts, I was hitting glide, like, I would jump, like, it would not let me off the ground. And I really don't know why. I never really figured that out. So I did end up dying. And I was like, okay, well, he'll res me like I resed him, like, no issue. And then that didn't happen. It sent me back to the beginning, like when I was facing air the first time, and it had like the little teleport back to the thing, but it didn't have the teleport back to the thing. So and it was so frustrating because he was like half dead, right? And I was doing well. Like, I was honestly like doing pretty well, and I was focusing on doing like the rift stuff, which is nice to have like that other person there, because your companions and stuff, sometimes their AI is weird. And there's some things like that you have to do, but then if the beastie ends up tracking onto you and damaging you, it can be an issue while you're trying to do the thing you're supposed to do. So it's nice to have, especially, what is this character? I don't remember this character's name. Especially this character though, because he's just everywhere. Like, quite literally everywhere. There's 100 of him. So here, I couldn't jump up, right? I was like literally on top of the thing, and like, and then it sent me back up here, and I was like, no, what? I was stuck up here the whole rest of the battle. I was stuck up here. I don't really know why I was stuck up here, but I was. And I think it was just because we had other people, and because I wasn't lifted off the ground, and I don't know. So I was just stuck up here. I really wanted to be able to shoot from my bow, and I couldn't, and I was just like, meh. I was bitching the whole time. I was kind of thankful I was not recording, because I bitched and witched up a storm. I was pissed. I was up here, and not, like, it's my storyline. It's my Martyr-Moth battle. Like, why are they gonna stick me up here? It's my punishment for dying all the time, I guess. I don't know. I was pissy about it. I was like, of all the ways to end this fucking chapter of this game, on a fucking ledge in Mordremoth's mind. We're literally destroying. It makes no sense. Puppy, you're on my headphones. Hey, get off the cord. Cindy! Get off the cord. Sorry. I know, she was on the cord. Dog was literally standing over my headphone cord, pulling my headphones down, and would not move her ass. Now she's gone. Dogs. I love them. I love them. Don't get me wrong. They are my heart and joy, but one of them loves to be tangled up in cords, and I don't understand why. Like, all she does is get herself tangled up in cords. I don't get it. I don't get it. So yeah. I'm still waiting up here, because that's my life now. My life is spiny jail. I'm in tree jail. He's almost dead. There was a very long time he was almost dead, and almost dead, and almost dead. And I was just like, please, please just smack him. My fear, honestly, was like that I had to smack him, and I was like, I can't. I'm up here. What do you want me to do? I know. I'm like, I'm trying. And then it teleports me back down to take the freaking last hit. But it teleports me back into like the middle of this freaking bullshit. And I'm just like, what do... Totally disoriented. And I'm like, oh yeah, okay. I've just gotta smack his butt. Literally just jam a knife up his butthole. And then... And then Traherne. And then Traherne says, yeah, you defeated him, but I'm connected to him. And I have to do it. I have to do it so that Mordremoth has no more connection. I mean, he's right, but damn it. Don't chew on that. So we have to say goodbye to Traherne. It's terrible. I mean, like, don't get me wrong. I get it. But like, and then we see Glint's egg doing Glint egg things. And then that's it. That's Heart of Thorns. We did it. It's done. It's over. Story complete. We gotta go to Living World Season 3 next. So thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for watching the Heart of Thorns series if you watched it all. If not, I hope you go back and watch it. If not, that's okay. So come back next time and we are going to do Living World Season 3. So bye guys. Have a great day.